I drove the Lotus Esprit V8, a very capable car when it comes to the track. However, it's also perfectly comfortable on the road as well. However, it does have a rather serious competitor, and this is it, the Honda NSX-R. This is widely regarded as one of the most reliable and practical sports cars ever made. Some of the early models have reached over 200,000 miles without any major issues, which I have to say is rather impressive for a car like this. As far as practicality goes, it's rather hard for me to measure this, since Forza is, well, it's all about track racing. However, from cockpit view, there is pretty good visibility, and the car isn't so low that it'll get scared of speed bumps. So there should be no problems with this as a road car, but can it really be as good as the Lotus when it gets to the track? Put simply, yes, the mid-mounted V6 may only be producing 290 horsepower, that's 60 less than the Lotus. The overall weight of the car though is roughly the same. This gives it a 0 to 60 time of 4.6 seconds and will go on to a top speed of around 180. Figures are pretty much identical to the Esprit despite the lack of horsepower. However, when it gets to the corners, this is where the NSX really comes alive. This is one of the most planted cars I've ever driven. The Lotus is good, it's a really good car, but this is just simply better. It doesn't matter if it's a high, medium or low speed corners, whatever it is, the rear end of this car will not step out unless you are really trying to make it. The brakes are also rather impressive for making this a relatively easy car to drive, but that doesn't detract from the fun. Even here at a track I don't really like, the NSX is just a joy to drive. There is so much grip, you can be on maximum attack the whole time, without fear of the car suddenly deciding it wants to take you to see the scenery. Although it's not exactly surprising the NSX handles so well, when you consider Ayrton Senna himself was among the racing drivers who helped develop the original NSX. There is a problem though, and it's not really the car's fault. It costs 120,000 credits, which is an awful lot. You could get an ACR Viper, a 911 Turbo, a Lamborghini Gallardo, or even an Ultima GTR for less. As an everyday car, yes, them lot probably wouldn't be as good as the NSX. However, you could buy, say, the ACR Viper, which is a much faster track car, and still have 20,000 credits left over for an everyday car, Lotus Carlton perhaps. However, now it is time to hand this over to the Stig and see what lap time he can get out of it, as I managed to crash it. Quick, cut, go away. No one saw me fall off the track there. So, here we are. It is a sunny day at the test track. Expectation-wise, the NSX-R is a low A-class. I think it's only very slightly higher PI than the Esprit we had last week. So these two should be, it's be interesting comparing these two's lap time. Coming up towards the first corner, and you can see it gets turned in very nicely. This is a really planted car, very nice to drive. I would not expect any oversteery or understeery moments from this particular car. As you come towards Chicago now, and again it's looking very nice through there. Come on towards the sort of slight straight down here. It isn't a particularly powerful car, 290 horsepower isn't really that much, but it's still pretty good in a straight line. As I said, 180 miles an hour top speed is not that bad for such little amount of power. Coming towards the hammerhead, and again it's looking very nice through this section. There's absolutely no oversteering moments from this car, which is surprising. Even the Lotus had a few moments through there. And it's off towards the follow through. Now this car did not quite manage to take this flat out, much like the Lotus I have to say. It's just a tiny lift as you go through the follow through. Very few cars actually have ever gone through there flat out. As you go past the tyre wall there, it is pretty damn quick down this section. Again, I have to say it's very similar to the Esprit. Watching the replays, the telemetry or whatever on them, they are almost identical through most of this track. Up towards the second to last corner now, that's a very nasty corner through there, and it's around the final one. Are we going to see a tiny slide there from the Stig, and there it is across the line. Now, the lap time for the Honda NSX-R is a 1:20.3, which is 0.1 of a second faster than the Lotus Esprit. Those two cars are so close. It's still a pretty damn impressive lap time for such a low A-class car. It's not that far off the Spikers. It's faster than the Bentley Continental and one of the early Vipers. I have to say, as much as the NSX-R is a fantastic car to drive, if you haven't driven it, go drive it, because it is amazing. There is a slightly faster version, the NSX-R GT, that is a unicorn car. I have never got to drive one of them, so I don't know how quick one of them would be. I would like to, but I haven't got one. But yes, it's a really nice handling car. It just costs so much money, which is a shame because it is a really good car. However, that is it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Next week with the reviews, we're going to try and mix things up a little bit. I'm hoping, if I have time to sort it out. We shall leave that as a bit of a surprise. But yes, until next time, thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.